This is Pacific Beer Chat number 5. I'm Steve from mikescraftbeer.com. Tonight we've got Joe Weeb, the Thirsty Writer, got Mike from thebeerraider.com, we've got Terry from West Coast Beer Geek, and we've got the Mike from mikescraftbeer.com.
Hey.
Hey. Tonight we're talking a little bit about happenings in the beer community, what we've done in the past, what we're hoping to see in the future. We might delve a little bit into pumpkin beers. We'll see if we're in the mood. And we'll see if we get that far. It's September. It's not quite the time yet. So Mike's got quite the list he wants to get through right now. So, Mike, why don't we start off with you and what you've been doing?
All right.
Sorry, Mike Garson.
No worries. I guess since the last podcast in June, I've been out to the East Kootenay Beer Festival, June 20th. It was an amazing event, a lot of fun, lots of great breweries, a bunch of Alberta breweries that were interesting to try out. Little bummed out that a few of the Kootenay breweries showed up, though. Only Arrowhead, Fernie, and Mount Begbie actually showed up. Lots of other great breweries up there, but it was a great event. The weather was pretty good. I've also been checking out a couple of the new breweries in Vancouver, like Callister Brewing that's opened up, that's a cooperative with Real Ale, Brewery Creek, and Machine. As far as I know, I don't think there's any new ones yet. Also, Ridge Brewing out in Maple Ridge is the second brewery out there, and it seems to be really busy. It seems quite popular too. I've also gone on a big road trip. Went up to Three Ranges in Valemont. They got a beautiful, beautiful tasting room. Lots of local wood. Quite a neat look. Took a little swing into Jasper National Park with the Jasper Brewing Company. Went out to Quesnel to Barkerville Brewing. I like all the kind of feel from the old gold mining in the tasting room. And swung down into Kelowna. Checked out B&A Brewing. The place is amazing. It was an old tobacco factory, British North America, and they've left most of the old bricks and beams and everything. It looks amazing. And then I took a little swing into Penticton to check out the new cannery and look at Tin Whistle that moved into the old cannery location. They both look really good. And then swung out to Nanaimo on a bike ride on the ferry. Checked out Longwood Brew Pub and the brewery. Had great talks at both, and swung out to Wolf Brewing. They've just taken over some new space. They got a brand new tasting room. It's pretty epic right now. How about anyone else?
Wow, that's impressive. I gotta say, that's quite a list of breweries, man.
I left out my Seattle, actually. Hilliard's Brewing, Stoop Brewing, Rubens Brewing, Lucky Envelope, and Awkward Brewing Company.
That's dedication.
It's the beer.
Yeah.
I was going to make a joke about that, too. You didn't have time to shave, apparently.
No, why would you do that? Like, it helps the beer look.
Trying to fit in with the brewers, eh?
Yeah.
Always.
He's just becoming one of them.
Without the talent to brew.
So, Joe, why don't you tell us what you've been up to, or where you plan to go?
Sure. I actually just spent some time in August, visiting breweries in Saskatchewan and in Winnipeg. There's not that many, but I'm going to be writing some articles about the brewing scene on the prairies next year, and so I got to fly out and check them out. Saskatchewan's got a pretty little mini boom going on. They've gone up from just a couple of breweries to, I think they're up to 8 now in the province. Not quite BC standards, but things are happening so slowly. And Winnipeg is following suit. They've got a couple new breweries in the works that are going to open there, hopefully by Christmas, but probably in the new year, because neither had actually started working in their buildings when I was there, and that was just a couple weeks ago. So, but they're very ambitious, and I think they both sound really good, so it should be good. And also, if you know Winnipeg, they're also planning on putting a brewery in the Forks in the public market there, so that should be interesting.
Ooh, nice. That's exciting.
Yeah, and otherwise, starting to look ahead to all the different events coming up, like great Canadian Beer Festival here in Victoria, which is coming soon, and Whistler Beer Festival, where I'm doing a big event. It'll be a lot of fun. And I think there's a festival in Kamloops too coming up, Brew Loops. And
I haven't heard about that one.
Yeah, and then here in Victoria, we're going to be Victoria Beer Week. We're going to be putting on Stein and Dine on October 3rd, which is the sort of Oktoberfest style event we do, and then hopefully we're still finalizing, but a fresh hop beer festival here in Victoria.
Yeah.
If it comes together, it's going to be in the parking lot at Driftwood and Hoyne. So
nice.
We're just finalizing details, but hopefully, and that should be on October 10th on Thanksgiving weekend on Saturday.
That's actually, I forgot to mention, there's actually a festival starting up out in the Fraser Valley too, out in Abbotsford. That's a BC Fresh Hop event. It's a BC Hop Fest celebrating fresh beer on October 3rd.
Yeah, that should be interesting. I'm not going to make it myself, but maybe you guys can check it out. It's a bit of a drive, I think, to get out there, though, isn't it?
Abby's not far from us.
For you, it is, Joe.
Yeah.
Nothing's a big drive for me.
No.
Yeah, and I was at Hoyne today talking to them about the event, and they had just released their Helios Dortmunder Lager, which is one of my favorites, so
it's so good.
I'm happily sampling that right now. It's delicious.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's one thing I miss about not living on the island right now is access to Hoyne.
Well, most of the Hoyne stuff makes it to Vancouver.
Not easy access.
Oh, okay.
I used to ride
easy access. So, Mike, why don't we move to you? What have you been doing?
Well, with the wife in school this year, the beer funds have been a little lower, but I have managed to make it out to a couple things. Bless you, Joe.
We need a cough button.
Yeah. But probably the highlight of my summer, I made it, or actually it was on my birthday, July 4th, was the Cask Fest down at Steel Toad, where it was a sessionable cask fest. So, you don't get as tipsy as normal, but I did make it through all the beer with my wife, and it was really interesting seeing the lower alcohol content and what people come up with. I found the smaller breweries got a lot more creative than the bigger guys, which was interesting to me because you'd think bigger guys have more resources to experiment a little more. But really cool event. Made it out to Penticton. Did a little wine tasting with the in-laws, but more importantly, got to visit the breweries in Penticton, Bad Tattoo and Henry, Tin Whistle, all just great stuff. Bad Tattoo has amazing pizza. Anyone who goes near there, get the pizza. Don't even think twice about it. It's so good.
Oh yeah, I agree. It's awesome.
Yeah, I love the sriracha pizza.
Oh man, that's my jam. Hey, I couldn't believe it. Our server Marley recommended it because we were deciding between two, and she was like, "Well, you can half and half," and we're like, "Done." So good, so good. And it's a pretty cool setup they have there too.
Yeah.
Then a couple weekends ago, actually, I saw Terry there. Was waiting for Edna at Four Winds. The cranberry sour saison. Brought the wife so I could grab 4 because it was 2 bottles per person. Totally worth it. I had 1 bottle as soon as I got home because I'm impatient. And I gave 1 bottle to my buddies at White Rock Beach Beer Brewing. White Rock Beach Brewing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because there's another White Rock one opening up, right? It's like
they're called White Rock Brewing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really great. They're gonna have a lawsuit on their hands.
Yeah, there's White Rock Beach Brewing.
Here's the thing with this. They have been a U-Brew company called the Brewing Experience, but when they originally registered, they registered their business name as White Rock Brewing.
Oh, great.
And White Rock Beach Beer Company tried to get White Rock Brewing when they first started, but they couldn't because the brewing experience already had White Rock Brewing. And so, marketing-wise, I don't know how that's going to work out for them. And technically, they're not in White Rock; they're in South Surrey. So,
lame.
you know,
When are they supposed to open?
postal code. But I'm not gonna. They might have good beer. I've yet to see. I think they were just starting to release beer at end of August, so I'll stop in pretty soon and see what they have.
They already had beer?
Yeah, I guess they've been a U-Brew and they've bought some equipment to put beer out, and I contacted them probably about a month ago, and they said you can come in and check it out, but we're not going to have beer until the end of August. So I think it's mainly tasting room and growler fill situation, and they're not actually putting anything in bottles or cans for a while. They're kind of starting small and growing there, but we'll see what they have. But it's always good. I live in South Surrey myself, so anything more we can have in fresh craft beer here, I'm totally happy with. Yeah. So I guess the one last thing I've taken on this summer is I've started to homebrew.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Fun. Like, I totally wish I'd started doing this a long time ago. Maybe I would have been a brewer. I don't know, but I've been blogging about it for a long time, and now I want to understand the process a bit more and fill my house up with stinky hops. Well, that's my wife's term. I love the smell. But yeah,
I don't like the smell either.
I'm on my third
Some
batch.
of the fermentation gas can be pretty gross too.
Yeah. The wife. Oh, I hear from the other room. The wife has a name. Her name is. Oh yeah, and we're going to Whistler Beer Fest. I'm being corrected.
Right on.
Podcast. I'm being corrected.
Perfect.
But, yeah, as a birthday present, my parents got me the Saturday Sunday pass.
Nice.
And they live up there, so accommodation is free. So
Oh, that's good.
It's a pretty good situation.
Yeah, they just got snow up there too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's been my summer. Not a lot for events, but I've tasted a lot of beer out there. Visited a bunch of breweries around my birthday and tasting rooms. That whole birthday week, I tasted. I think it was 64 or 72 different beer, and by the end of it, I was a little beered out.
Ready for a
If that's
nap.
possible. I didn't think it was possible, but this Sunday at the night, my wife offered me one last beer of my extravaganza, and I sadly turned it down. I just couldn't do it anymore. But no, I knocked a bunch out.
We're going to cut you off the podcast.
Yeah. The humanity.
It's all right. I was back on it on the Monday. I just needed that 12-hour break.
Ah, okay, good. We've all had that. It's called a hangover.
Every now and then the liver speaks up.
Stupid liver.
Yeah. Who needs a liver?
Yeah, really. Just wait for the bionic ones to come out, and then we're good.
Yeah.
Just stick a coffee filter in there. It's all fine.
Oh, shoot. How about you, Terry?
Yeah, Terry. Terry, you there?
Yeah.
there we
Can you
go.
guys hear me okay there?
Yep.
Ground control to Major Terry.
So I've got a town site sour saison.
Hold it up a little higher. There we go.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice. That's
My
a good
glass here. Quite enjoying. Very sort of easygoing, not overly sour. A little bit of that peppery spice to it there. So good combo. Nice
Nice.
beer. And then event-wise for me, a while back I went to the Washington Beer Fest, the big one over Father's Day weekend, which was phenomenal. If you're ever gonna go to a beer fest in the area and travel a little bit for it, that's one I would go to every year.
Where is it now?
Thrilled. It's in Redmond,
Okay.
so not too far out of Seattle. Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's become a father-son thing for me and my dad. So really
Awesome.
enjoy that, and
Oh, that's sweet.
we it was all basically all I was doing imperial stouts and saisons were my two beer styles that I was going around and drinking. You know, after about 2 imperial stouts, I throw a saison in there to palate cleanse and to help pace myself a little bit. 'Cause those can be pretty deadly, and they pour pretty freely there. So.
You know what else works, Terry?
So anyway, yeah,
Water.
that was.
What's that?
The water stations are always so far away.
I agree.
Mike with his
Something festive.
Gatorade.
Yep.
You ever gone to a beer festival with Mike? He's got like Gatorade with him all the time. It's awesome. It's great.
Gotta
Gotta stay
hydrate.
hydrated.
Gotta hydrate.
Yeah, and then more recently, I did a Steel and Oak beer pairing dinner with the 120 Pub. And the nice thing about that one is all the food was infused with the beers that they were paired with.
Nice.
So they had the opening dish was fried queso wrapped sausages, and that was just like killer to start off with. That's a nice raw oysters and a couple other really good, just really solid dishes. The chef there at the 120 Pub is phenomenal. So if you're looking for a good place to go for dinner around here, if you're in the Surrey Delta area, that's the place I would go. They've got I would say he's pretty much a world-class chef working in a place like that, and so you get downtown quality food, and you don't quite have to pay downtown prices, which is nice. Or get downtown portions. You know what I mean? And then I went to another long table dinner at Zachlin Heritage Farms, which is a little heritage farm out in Surrey here. One of the last of what was probably all farmland, you know, even 60 years ago. And they put on a beer dinner with Four Winds. So they used a lot of the local produce. They featured a lot of local produce from the farm in the food. And you know, when no one walked away hungry after that meal, it was like 7 courses, and probably the big highlight was Four Winds brought a whole bunch of the Nectaris there. So I
Nice.
loaded up. I loaded up on that quite a bit. Yeah. So it was nice to see them pouring that one there. And then they just had their regular lineup. So nothing crazy, but it was a pretty damn good meal, and it was kind of nice because I was able to walk to and from it, so didn't have to worry about cabs or driving or anything like that, which is always a
Where
treat.
is that farm located, Terry?
So 132nd and 84th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You'd never know it was there.
Yeah.
I've
Cool.
driven by that area probably 100 times and did not know there was a farm there. So
Half the farms I drive by in that neighborhood have all the biohazard symbols for the chickens.
No.
So
yeah, I know this one's good. They've got a little farmers market that's open on Saturdays, and I think it's Thursdays, and so I'm gonna have to go check that out next because yeah, it's some pretty good quality stuff there.
Cool.
I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, and then I also did a charity event at the 120 Pub as well. I've been there quite a bit lately. And it was just Burns Bog Conservation Society, and they had Steamworks and Four Winds there. And it was one of those ones where you pay like $30 and you get a whole bunch of gift cards and stuff that go with it, so it was pretty nice. And
Sweet.
I put in a bid for a Four Winds gift pack, but I didn't win it, so a little sad about that.
next time.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's it for me, and just been trying to make my way through my cellar of beer. So I haven't been buying a lot of beer lately.
You can just turn around. You got a bunch there.
Yeah.
It started. So, yeah, I guess my turn. Actually, I was lucky enough. My wife and I went to Japan for 3 weeks, and we went to the Sapporo Brewery, which I know it's macro, but at the same time they do take a fair bit of pride. They still actually brew small batches of the original recipe from 1876 when they were called kaitakushi. And they do small batch experimentals. Like I brought Mike back Sapporo Oyster Black, which is actually really good. And I think I've got another one in the fridge. And then
Really, really good actually, and I don't usually like oyster stouts.
yeah, it was just clean, refreshing, and really surprisingly reminded me of oysters, but in a good way. I don't quite know how that's possible, but there it is. Then we went down to Hakodate and just stumbled on Hakodate Brewing, which Hakodate is a reasonably large city, but it's at the south end of Hokkaido and nobody knows about it. But it's in this gorgeous 100-year-old brick warehouse that they converted into a brew pub. They've got a pretty good selection. I think they have 6 different styles ranging from lager to saison. And my favorite little bit was when you buy bottles to go, they throw a cold pack in with it, which I just thought was a nice touch. Haven't opened the bottles yet. They're sitting in the fridge, so I'm going to give those a taste. I'll write a review about them a little bit later. And I even found a couple of smaller... I didn't find the actual breweries, but I found cans and bottles of a couple of other up-and-coming Japanese craft brewers. So, again, they're in the fridge. I'll slowly crack them open and see what they're like. But it seems like it's actually starting to get a bit of a craft beer culture going over there as well.
Revolution.
Yeah.
Yeah, the former head brewer of Judas CL is opening up a brewery there.
Oh, wow.
I heard about that, yeah.
Yeah. I can't. I'm trying to find the name here.
Other than that, last night with Mike and Terry, we went to the launch party for the Patio Pumpkin bourbon barrel aged Imperial Pumpkin Ale from Central City.
Here, I've got both bottles here I can put up.
Please.
There's
There you
that
go.
one.
The regular pumpkin ale and the new one. And we drank beer from pumpkins, which was actually really tasty.
And noticeably different.
And noticeably different, sweeter and a little bit more pumpkin-y.
Yeah.
A lot of good nutmeg on the Imperial, even from the tap, though. Other than that, not too many other events. I am looking forward to, on September 18th, I'm going to the, of all things, Italian Cultural Center's Oktoberfest, or Festa di Birra, as they're calling it. And, Giulio's putting it on, so it's part of his Abruzzi circle. So we'll see how that goes. The menu includes both, what was it? Brat on a bun, braised cabbage, and elicottali pasta with tomato sauce. So we'll see how authentically German we get here.
Have they actually announced the beer yet? I haven't talked to Giulio in a while.
No, they haven't officially announced the beer yet.
Oh, okay.
They've got catering in house, so they can get the menu really early, but they haven't put the beer up yet. He's promised me something good, so I'm hopeful. Sadly, I'm not going to be able to make it to that October 3rd festival out in Abbotsford. I'm going to be out of town, sadly. I really wish I could go see that, though. I'm really getting excited about some of the smaller festivals that are coming around. Some of the big ones are just starting to feel a little samey.
No.
Like, you see the same people. They always have the same
exact beer,
same couple of kegs. Really, I'm always super happy when I see somebody bring out something experimental or small batch, but I get that that's not always practical either. But yeah, that's my last couple of months in beer and my next couple. Mike, you said you had something else you wanted to talk about as well?
Yeah, I was just gonna mention that little brewery I checked out. I wish it was legal to do what they're doing in BC. They're actually a little nano brewery out of the family's garage. So they're only open to the public for their neighbors, really. Although I know him through other means, and I've been able to go check out the brewery, and I've done a review about it. But they sell their kegs to the local pubs and everything, and it's a really neat little setup, and it sadly is illegal right now in our province, and I don't know, probably across Canada. It'd be really neat to see something like that be allowed here.
That's awesome.
Has anyone else seen anything like that before, Joe or something?
No, I mean, everything has to be in industrial areas here, right? Like,
yeah.
Even the nanos are still in semi-industrial zones, or
But I mean, like,
at least in a commercial space of some sort, right? Not in a residential area for sure.
But have you seen one outside of BC? Like, I know there's lots I hear in Washington, but it's a neat thing to be able to just kind of, if you live in the neighborhood and you know the people, just walk down the street to their house and fill up a growler and walk home.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's also nice and safe too, because you got people going to drink and drive and stuff like that, right?
yeah. Drink and
Well, I guess-
stumble home.
It's only illegal if you're caught.
Which still means it's illegal.
So, are you really home brewing there, Mike?
No comment.
A bit bigger of a scale. It's still commercial. They still have to deal with the federal and state liquor people and the heck's it called down there? The alcohol, tobacco, and firearms or whatever.
Firearms.
The ATF. Always great, Smoke, drink, and shoot things. Yeah, that's a good idea.
It's a good combo.
America.
F yeah. All right. Do you want to transition into sort of the pumpkin beers you're looking forward to this year? Or have you
Yeah,
heard
I
of
mean
any
it's a
new
little
ones?
early to. Yeah, it's a little early to really get into pumpkin beers, but I was just wondering if anybody was looking forward to any in particular, or if you have thoughts on the upcoming pumpkin beer season. Yay, nay, oh God, why, anything like that. I'm sure someone here has a strong opinion.
I'll kick it off with. I mean, we're not quite like the States, where I think Southern Tier had their pumpkin, and most like Shipyard, all the sort of big popular ones. They were out in early to mid-July.
Oh my God! I know
Yeah, that was
Dogfish
brutal,
had
right?
held them.
Come on. They
Yeah.
probably leave their Christmas lights up all year round too. Like,
Well, a lot of the breweries here in BC make the pumpkin beers in July so that they can be available in September.
It's
And I find it kind of, I don't know. I just find it kind of weird. Like, I like pumpkin beers. Like, I actually do enjoy drinking some of them, but I really would like to drink a pumpkin beer in November that was made with pumpkins from the harvest that just happened, not with canned pumpkins or whatever they're using in July, or I don't know. Some of the breweries that make them in July still say that they're baking the pumpkins and all that, so they're getting fresh pumpkins from somewhere. But where are you getting fresh pumpkins from in July? I don't understand that.
China.
this year.
Yeah. If there's lots of here in Victoria, there's a big pumpkin field right on the highway by on the drive up to the ferries, and that's where we go and get our pumpkins for for jack-o'-lanterns. And it'd be awesome if some of the breweries around here would go and get pumpkins like that and put them in their recipes. I think that'd be really cool. But
fresh pumpkin, like a fresh hop, but
Fresh pumpkin, yeah.
yeah, totally.
Well, I know the pumpkins are growing now because Central City had some massive ones for that event yesterday.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I heard they were a little worried they weren't going to be able to find any, and they
Yeah,
like 2 days ago they were able to find them and truck them in or something like that. Big ass, it was big enough to fit almost a full keg in there. I would say that was a big pumpkin.
Yeah.
Those are big.
pumpkin.
Yeah.
I personally don't even look at them until the first day of autumn. I don't even know what's out there. It's crazy. Call me a traditionalist, but I don't know. There's just too much pumpkin out there. It's this trend, like pumpkin spice lattes. I've seen, well, obviously there's the pumpkin beer. There's pumpkin body butter. There's pumpkin pizza. Like, it's driving me crazy. And
I think you can get pumpkin spice condoms now, can't you?
I don't know. I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah.
But, I've come up with 2 puns, Terry, and these are for you because I know you love your puns. I'm bored with the gourd, and we need to squash that trend.
Oh, there you go. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Well, I certainly am more excited about the fresh hop beers than I am about the pumpkin beers.
Yeah.
There's, I mean, the thing is, though, I guess the one thing I don't like about the fresh hop beers as much is that it tends to be just IPAs, and that's understandable because it's showcasing the hops. But it would be interesting to see a few more styles. I like that Daggerad does like a fresh hop version of their Belgian blonde, and I guess Lighthouse does a brown ale and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
still,
Well, there's also pale ales and ESBs and stuff.
yeah, I guess I'm wrong. I guess there's a few more than I was thinking, but
Yeah, the Gravel ESB was the Gravel ESB was pretty nice.
yeah, it's always been good. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. And then I love the Daggerad one. That's my favorite local fresh hop. Fremont in the States makes a wonderful one. I think they've got a special farm they get all their hops from for that, and they practice a lot of sustainable practices and stuff. They do a lot of pretty cool job there. So that's the one I'm probably most excited about. And then in terms of pumpkin beers, I always buy a House Sound Pumpkin Eater, the Imperial Pumpkin. But I save it for next year. Like I like to cellar that one for a year, and I find it's way better a year later. So it mellows out and it's a little bit more balanced. And then I like Lost Souls Chocolate Pumpkin Porter, Parallel 49.
That's what I was going to say.
That's the best one to pair with pumpkin pie. Because it's not too pumpkin-y, right? It's a little bit more subtle. And that one also, cellars pretty well. Like you save it for 6, 8, 12 months, no problem. And actually the flavor gets pretty cool.
Never been able to hold on to it that long.
Yeah, and then a couple other ones that I thought were standouts last year. Moon had their pumpkin pear Weizen, which is nice because I don't know if they had fresh pumpkin in there. They might have, but they also had fresh pears, so that was cool with the pear harvest and that. And I think I saw them brewing it on their social media. And then Longwood's pumpkin saison was pretty good too. That was a nice one.
Didn't try that one.
Yeah, it had nice hired hands, a big pumpkin-y label, usual stuff. But it was a good one. So if I'm gonna pick up any of the, I'll pick those up. And I thought so I actually really enjoyed the Central City one. So
the Patrico Pumpkin.
I'm gonna pick up 2 more of those the bourbon barrel ones and save them for next year and see what they do.
Should do well. They're 8% alcohol, so
yeah, they'll sell there nicely, and I think you get some good flavors out of it. I've had a couple other good barrel ones from the States. Had some really good ones. Had some really crappy pumpkin beers from the States. There's a lot of really, really bad pumpkin beer in the U.S. Like horrible, like stuff you just pour down the drain.
Fun.
And that's my only beef with the pumpkin ales. I really hate the sort of like heavy spice, like pumpkin beer kind of ale.
I'd actually prefer those ones because I don't like pumpkin pie. I'm not a big fan of pumpkin spice or pumpkin flavor everything.
Yeah, everything's pumpkin. WTF, man?
Yeah. What the frig?
Has anyone used pumpkin seeds? I wonder if that would make a good beer.
I don't know.
That would be
Roast them up,
interesting. I
grind
like
them
that
up.
idea.
It tastes good.
They
Yeah.
do.
You're onto something.
That might be a good
All
way to
right.
be able to homebrew
Well,
that.
Mike and Terry, get on that. Homebrew that. Let's find out.
This is the call to all brewers watching. Try a pumpkin seed ale.
Get in there, yeah.
Send it to us, and we'll tell you how good it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I'd like to make a pumpkin beer this year, so maybe I will.
Yeah,
We'll
I
see.
was just thinking here, with Joe mentioning fresh hop beers, and I know last year the fresh hop beers I didn't find were quite as flavorful. And with hops, isn't it? They usually get a lot more oils and stuff when it's a lot more wet out, and with such a dry season this year, is that going to affect the fresh hops this year? Do you think?
I don't think
guess it
so. I mean,
depends.
I think the heat just kind of speeds up the maturation process. Like most of the hops are being harvested a week or two earlier than in past years.
Okay, because I thought they liked a lot of moisture.
Well, I think they like a lot of moisture when they're starting to grow, but I think towards the end of the season, it's just about finishing off kind of thing.
Okay.
I mean, when we talk about them being wet, it's not so much
Yeah,
the wetness of the humidity or the moisture or whatever. It's just the oils in them that are coming out when you pick them, I guess.
Oh no, for sure, yeah. But I always thought that the oils kind of built more when they had more of a rainy season, and then it dried out right at the end, and that's why they like the West Coast so much.
Well, I was just, for instance, I was just talking to Matt Phillips today, and he was mentioning how he has found that hops don't grow that well on the Sandwich Peninsula they grow, but they don't taste as good as the Washington hops because, like in Yakima, it's so hot. He said, like the heat. Whereas here, it just doesn't get hot enough. So I guess there's some other issue with that. I know the hops up in Lillooet where it gets really hot in the summer or too. So yeah, for sure. Yeah, exactly.
Good enough to drop Molson.
If anything, I wonder how the current sort of windstorm affected them. I'd be more worried about that sort of. Just if you got these nice, dry, ready to harvest hops, if you didn't get to them, you might be in a bit of trouble.
Well, I know someone we all know in the industry, or that hangs out in the industry locally. Some of her vines got messed up pretty good.
Yeah.
Hopefully the hops survive.
I know the Driftwood guys were over in Chilliwack getting their hops at Sartori today to brew the Sartori. So. As far as I know, everything was fine. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's is that ever the most popular beer here? Huh? It's the hardest one to find. I find that Sartori hops one.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit better here in Victoria.
It's pretty frustrating how hard it can be to get.
Yeah. I'll tweet out a nice picture, you guys, when I pick up my case.
So nice of you.
Yes. Oh my!
So I just mentioned that I was talking to Matt Phillips today, and the reason why is because Phillips just opened their new malt works, which is pretty cool. It's a huge facility, over $1 million. He said he wouldn't tell me how much exactly to build this malting. Yeah, and the goal is that they do intend to grow and malt all their own barley eventually. Right now they've had farmers grow barley for them on the Saanich Peninsula the last couple of summers, and he said they have enough based on that for 30% of the barley that they'll use in the next 12 months.
Nice.
And he's hoping that they can commission farmers to grow enough barley and wheat too, because they can malt other grains as well, so that they can eventually get up to 100% or maybe 90% or something like that. But they'll even be able to do specialty malts, like pretty much any kind they need, like roast them according to all the styles that you need and so on. And yeah, I mean, he said basically the barley that he's grown in the last couple of years, quality than the barley that's been growing on the prairies the last couple of years because of the problems they've had with the harvests. So
nice.
So it's pretty exciting. And they're going to start. They're already malting now, and they're going to start brewing beer with it in the next month or two. And he didn't really want to commit to when they'll actually put out a beer that is specifically just that malt, but he said they'll definitely, there'll be beer coming out in the next few months that is using that malt. So it's pretty cool.
Probably doesn't want to tip his hat because he's probably already got the whole recipe and brand all made up.
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny. Sometimes he's like that, and sometimes he's not. So I couldn't quite tell today, like whether he was just, being sneaky or whether he was being honest. So. But it was cool. We were in this facility, and there's a lot of heat involved in the malting. The one room where the grain was, because it was the kilning stage where it was kind of starting to dry it out, was in the 40s, like 40-something degrees Celsius.
Oh.
It was really hot. Oh. And he said that's nothing. The room downstairs is 72.
Ugh.
And then he said, let's go check it out. So we went. Holy cow, it was hot. I only lasted about 10 seconds. I've never felt heat like that before. That was amazing.
It's like a small oven, yeah.
Yeah. How long do people last in there? Jeez.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they work down there very much. It's just it's like right below where all the grain is, right above you, and there's like 20 tons of grain right above you there. And then the room though with the grain, I guess they have to go in occasionally. I don't think they spend a lot of time working in there. Mostly mechanized, right? So it's really cool.
Really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like they're working their way towards like Rogue and Oregon is almost like self-sufficient with all their hops and barley. Like they grow pretty much everything now.
Yeah, they've got patents and everything on their hops. Yeah.
I don't think Phillips is going to be growing hops though. He was pretty down on the quality of the hops, like the flavor profile of the hops that he said. He tried for years and years to grow his own. He has his own hops that he grows on his own farm, and then he commissioned farmers, but he just said he's never been happy with the quality of them that they've grown on the island. So yeah, they grow, but he said they just don't taste right. They don't taste as good as they need to. So,
You can
and that's
always
great.
start,
'Cause he's not just going to say he's going to do local just for the sake of local, right? He's going to commit to it and make sure that thing is the quality is there.
it's actually funny because it's not the only brewery in on the island that's trying to go local. When I was over at Longwood, they're fighting really hard to go as local as they can. As far local as they'll go is the Lower Mainland for the hops and stuff. But they're trying to get all their grains locally if they can. They're trying to slowly work towards trying to be 100% local.
Yeah, you know, it's the island, man. We're going to separate.
More than you already are. with this home brewing that I'm doing, I was chatting to the guys at Barley's home brewing supply in New West there, just asking. They get most of their stuff from the States, and I just asked, well, why don't you go local? And it costs more. It's more expensive to get it local than it is to get it from other suppliers. And I guess maybe for them, if you're buying all of your supplies from one place, you're going to get quantity discounts and all that kind of thing. But it's interesting, and I'm going to investigate more. Why does it cost more to get stuff locally than the States? I don't know. Maybe you guys know something I don't, but usually the less distance you have to truck something, the less it costs.
Well, why is it cheaper to buy stuff at Costco instead of your local little store? Quantity.
Yeah.
Yeah. I imagine if you guys, do they sell full cone hops there or just pellet?
No, they sell all of it.
Okay. Oh yeah, there are some that are patented only as full cone. That's right. I can't remember which ones, but certain hops you can only have full cone. Certain hops you can only be pelleted. Certain hops you can't sell fresh. it's really weird.
Yeah.
It's an interesting market there. But anyway.
Another thing I was told from Longwood is that there's some that are actually pelleted as a blend now.
That's pretty cool.
Interesting.
Who knows if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's happening.
Might be a subject for a future podcast. Who knows?
If we can get enough information.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one part of the industry that's very about is the hop contracts and the patents on hops and stuff like that. It's an
Hop
interesting
shortages and
oh yeah, the fake shortages, by the way.
well, it's not that they're
never
fake
really been any
shortages.
big
It's because
shortage.
one year everyone wants Cascade, and then the next year everyone wants Mosaic. So they grow too much of one, not the right amount of the other ones.
Yeah. Well, and it's a 3-year basically investment to one variety, right?
Yeah.
So you're basically looking at 3 years ahead on what is the trend going to be. And you don't know. You got to do your best guess, and some guys have better guesses than others, and some guys just get lucky.
Yeah.
And the other factor that comes into play is that a lot of the really popular hop varieties are proprietary brands that in Oregon and Washington have developed, right? And even if the BC hop farm wanted to grow them, they're not allowed because the people who own them won't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very controlled market, right?
Really
Like
makes it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's a really limited quantity of those ones, and they control them, right? So.
Come on,
Yeah.
BC hop producers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they can't necessarily produce Amarillo and Mosaic.
Yeah.
Oh no, but they just got to find something better now. Make something more interesting.
But those hop varieties exist because the University of Oregon and people and the hop farmers developed them. Spent like 3 decades, like pinpointing the flavor profiles and developing them and creating them, basically, right?
Yeah.
Breeding. And so if BC did something similar, it would take a while. Years, we'd start developing our own styles that were really good and unique too.
We'd be into the 8th edition of your book, Joe, before we actually.
Maybe the 10th. Yeah, exactly. Which color covered by then, right? We'd go brown and yellow. Then it'll be probably red, green, I don't know,
magenta or something. You'd be out of the normal colors. You'd have to ask what color it was.
Let's go the rainbow.
Maybe by then my son will be writing them instead of me.
There you go.
Back in my day.
Hey guys, have you guys tried this beer yet? The Driftwood Raised by Wolves?
A little higher, Joe.
Yep.
Oh yeah, sorry, there it is. There we go.
No, but I've heard good things.
A cool label. Not only a cool label, but a very delicious beer. Whoops, I'm sliding off the screen. There we go.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. I like. It's not, what is it again? What are they calling it now? The wild yeast strain.
They're just calling. Well, okay, they're calling it Wild IPA, and then the yeast they're calling. Well, it's Brett Trois, but they're calling it just instead of Brettanomyces now. I think they're calling it something else, right? So, yeah, it says here. Saccharomyces Trois, so it's Sac Trois instead of Brett.
Because they realize there's actually no Brett
Sacs?
in that yeast at all.
But it's apparently not truly a sac either. It's like halfway between the two or something. So
yeah, no.
So that's why like Four Winds is calling it a wild instead of a when they with Juxtapose they don't call it a Brett IPA anymore. They call it a wild. That's pretty cool. Yeah, this one's really nice. I mean. I haven't tasted it next to Juxtapose, but they're pretty similar in a lot of ways. But really, this is really delicious.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I'm a little too close to Four Winds to rank it higher than or on the same level. I love my Juxtapose, but
me too, man.
It was good.
My life.
It was neat to see them dive into that. I encourage more breweries to get into that kind of stuff because your beer gets a little bit more interesting when you start doing that.
I'll drop the gauntlet that I like that one better than Fat Tug.
Wow.
Wow.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
That's bold.
Stepping up to the plate.
Yeah. Not worried to say.
No, it's definitely better than Fat Tug. Hands
All
down.
right, so the podcast here then. This has been Pacific Night Beer Chat. Hope you come back and join us next time.